Now, I find that a lot of people who are successful either in life or business or relationships, they tend to be very persistent. They have this bulldog aggression, and they know what they want, and they're not willing to take no for an answer. And I find that this is a success characteristic. And to be successful at anything, especially learning these very specific dating skills, you have to have that persistence. It helps greatly. Because I find that a lot of guys, they give up. They will meet short or much temporary defeat, and they tend to give up after that. So the key point is pushing on. Now, if you meet failure, if you approach a woman in the street during the day, and you don't really get the response that you're looking for, no doesn't necessarily mean no, and failure doesn't necessarily mean failure. One of my good friends, he's a very good salesman, a top salesman in Australia, and he says to me, he goes, "Alex, my hit rate is 20%. So that means out of every 100 people he approaches or cold calls, out of every 100 people, 20 people of those he eventually makes a sale from. So he fails 80 times before he can make a sale from 20 people. And he says to me, a good way of looking at it to see whether or not you're persistent is if you're not failing enough, if you're not failing 80% of the time and getting 20% results, he means you're not trying. It means you're not trying hard enough. You're not pushing yourself as hard as you could be. And I find that when I was first getting into this a few years ago, that when I would go out, I wouldn't have that persistent, this burning desire to do these approaches, and I would only do half the approaches I could do, which is bad. You should do every approach that you possibly could do, because I guarantee this, you will regret. You will see that smoking blonde and you will regret it not walking up to her. I also find that success and failure is largely a result of a habit. So if you go out and you continuously make an effort and you approach maybe 3 women on any given weekday, then on the following day it'll be much easier. And then the following day after that you can do twice as many approaches. Because I found that when I was just getting into this, I found that I wasn't really putting that effort into working on this area of my life, and I didn't do any approaches, hardly any. This is going back about 5 years ago, and I found that because it started becoming a daily routine, that I was going out during my lunch break, I wasn't really doing any approaches. I started falling into this rut, and it started becoming a habit. And it started getting stronger and stronger, and I started accepting my fate. And I would go out, and before I knew it, I wasn't even trying. So try not to let that happen to you. If you're in a situation now where you've been going out and you're not doing any approaches, go out with a friend. Form a little group. It's good to do this. There's heaps of groups around the world who are into this kind of thing, where they go out and they try this kind of stuff. They experiment in approaching women during the day and night. It's good to find a buddy or a wingman. So when you go out, you can share war stories and funny things that's happened to you, but also you can support each other. You can go out and bust each other's chops and have a lot of fun, and invite that girl into that little group, that little fun group, the fun buddy. My name is Alex, and I hope you enjoyed this very short video. If you don't yet own your copy of the Street Dating Revealed DVD, which it is of me and some buddies going out during the day, approaching women in the coffee shop, the parks, and on the street in the city, then visit the link displayed on this video or down below on this page. This video is specifically on day game, on specifically approaching women during the day, getting into conversations,